Hello again, my name is Dr. Bill Johnson. I'd like to welcome you to another edition of Exploring Our Schools. Today really is a very special day for me. Not only do I have an opportunity to talk to you a little bit about one of our incredible teachers, and the work that she does at Riverside School, but I have two very special guests today. Some of you may know or may not know, but I am also a grandfather of a young man who comes to the Rockville Center Schools and is actually in the class that Cindy O'Brien actually taught, and his name is Thomas Johnson. Thomas, welcome to the show. Thank you very much for coming today. My grandson and a second grade student, and his very good friend, Eli Hammett. Not just his good friend, but he's our neighbor. So the two of them actually spend a lot of time together, not just in the classroom, but also with one another outside of school. So thank you very much for joining us. First of all, what I'd like to do is just kind of start, if we could, just talk a little bit about the art program at Riverside and the role that this played. Actually, it was an invitation to have outsiders come in, and I happened to be the outsider on that particular day who joined my grandson in actually working on this project. So
we did a great program this year. We invited the parents to come in and do a project with each grade, and we based it off of an artist. So the work was inspired by one artist with each grade, and for second grade, we chose the artist Romero Brito. And he is a great link for second grade because his artwork is very colorful and very optimistic, and it's animal-based, and the kids love animals, so we chose cats and dogs for the project. The artist himself was from Brazil. He was one of 8 children, and he didn't have much. He was a self-taught artist, and he started at a very young age painting on cardboard and newspaper and anything he could get his hands on because he didn't have a lot of supplies. But he was optimistic and kept pushing and going and really made something of himself, and is based out of Miami now. He does a lot of philanthropic work. He works with St. Jude's Hospital. He's done murals there. He's done the halftime show at the Super Bowl. He's done work at JFK. But he does give back so much of what he makes.
What's remarkable about it, I think, is that it can be so appealing to both young people and adults at the same time. And the work that he does is very popular now among adults.
Yes.
And yet at the same time, it's so easily replicable by very young people. Why is that? What happens? How can you do that?
I think because it's a simple style, but it's also very bright and bold and colorful and really catches your eye and just makes you feel good when you look at the work itself. And it's very accessible because the subject matter that he chooses is simple but yet beautiful.
And it's an interesting mix of colors, so he's not trying to dictate to anybody exactly what mix should be.
Right.
So what did we do with the second graders? What did you guys do? Do you remember the project? It's been a few weeks since we did it.
Yeah.
You do remember? Yeah?
Yep.
What did you select?
A cat.
A cat. I think we actually have a picture of a cat with us today, as a matter of fact. That looks very similar to what it is that you did, Thomas.
Yeah.
So do you remember how we started?
We selected our animal.
Mm-hmm.
And
Well, I think, if I recall correctly, we were sitting together, and we draw the animal first, right?
yeah.
And you selected the cat, and you drew the animal. Eli, what did you select? Do you remember?
I selected a dog.
A dog? Yeah, but if I recall correctly, you said it didn't look like a dog at the end,
It
right?
sort of looks like a llama.
A llama? Oh, really? That's okay. All right, fine. So a dog who morphed into a llama, huh? So at any rate, so what it is, they actually then, they draw
They draw the animal.
their image of whatever they can see, right? And as you can see from, maybe we can lift that up so we
Sure.
can show it to the camera. It's really a very simple design. There's nothing very complicated about it, right?
Nice, simple contour outline, and then we took a ruler. What do we do with that ruler, Eli?
We drew lines to separate so we can put them in sections, and with the sections, we did a different pattern.
Good. So we outlined in Sharpie, and we separated our animal into sections. And then, like Eli said, we took crayon, and we used that crayon as a resist, and then we put marker over it and started doing our patterns.
So
Now-
why would you do the crayon first?
The crayon is first because the crayon actually resists the marker and will come through the paper once the marker dries. And you can see in the patterns that the crayon has come through. The lighter the crayon color you use, the better with the darker colors, and then vice versa on the opposite. So we used a darker black, so that comes through the orange. And then some of the sections can just be marker themselves.
And then what happened at the end of the project? Where did these things end up?
We actually had a little museum in the hallway, and each grade's work was mounted and hung up in the Riverside hallways.
Yeah.
And I just think it was a wonderful way to get the parents to come in to see what we're doing in the schools for art. And I think they really enjoyed doing something with the kids, too.
So if you had to finish this today, Eli, what color would you select? Your favorite colors?
I would select blue and red.
Why do I think blue is one of your favorites? I think you came dressed in blue today, right? Is that one of your favorites?
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're at Southside High School, and red and blue are the colors of Southside High School. Did you know that before you came over here today?
No.
Uh-oh, so you're going to fit right in here someday. Think you'll come here tomorrow? Right, as a student? Did you tell your brothers that this morning, that one of the reasons why you came? What did they say?
They said, well, you're really smart. I think you need to go to Southside.
They're going to come to high school, right? So, Thomas, what do you think, what colors would you use to here, in here?
Maybe pink for the nose and purple for the outside.
Oh, purple on the outside?
Yeah,
Yeah, why is that? Do you like purple?
yeah,
It's one of your favorites?
yes.
What are some of your other favorites?
Red and blue.
Oh, you too?
Yeah.
Oh, boy, you'll be perfect candidates for Southside High School. That's right. So, tell me a little bit about the thinking behind this, and why would you want to get kids involved in something like this?
I just thought it was a great opportunity to get the parents in as well, but the kids themselves are very enthusiastic when it comes to choosing animals, and I always try and pick something I think they can relate to, and something that they find maybe special or important.
Right. So, does it always have to look, does that look like the cat that wanders through the backyard, Thomas?
No.
No. But when you look at it, what do you see?
Lots of colors.
That's right. What do you see, Eli? Does it look like a cat? Is that what art does? Does it have to always look exactly like the cat that
No.
wanders through your
No.
yard? Right? You can be very creative, right?
Yes.
So, what makes that look like a cat? What makes it different than other animals? How would I recognize that as a cat, do you think? Huh? Does it have paws? I mean, is it the whisker?
has-
Does it look like a rabbit?
No.
No.
It has whiskers.
Yeah. Certain characteristics that make it special, right? And make it different.
Yes.
And then, but that's what art is all about. So, I've seen some of the painting that you do sometimes. Does a tree always look the same when you do it and when Eli, when you've come over sometimes and you make a tree, does it look the same as his?
No.
No. But when you're finished, I know that you made a tree and I know that you made a tree, right?
Yes.
Right? So, you like art?
Yeah.
You do. Do you know why you like art?
I just like looking at all the colors.
It is amazing how you can put colors together, right? Right? And even, is that the color of a cat?
No.
No, I don't think so. I haven't seen a cat in my yard that looking like that. Have you?
No.
No? Even when they climb the fence?
A pet like that.
Right. I know. So, we do have lots of animals in the backyard, and then when they do actually make a picture of an animal, it's actually just what they see, not necessarily what exactly has to be replicated, right?
That's what I love about teaching art, is the diversity of their work. You could start with the same subject matter, but they all look so different when you're done. So it all comes from inside.
Yeah. And as a matter of fact, a dog could end up looking like a llama, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you can still be very proud of it, right? And I'll bet it looked pretty good. If I recall correctly, I remember walking around the
It
tables.
looked pretty rainbow colored.
Yes, it did, right? Did yours look rainbow also?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what made it so special, right? And I think that's what Romero Brito is all about, right? The splash of color that,
The bright pops of color.
and it's so, that's why it's so appealing to just the young people. And it looks so simple on the outside, right?
Right.
And yet at the same time, the expression that comes through using all of the different colors can really make a huge difference in what it ultimately looks like. So, what other things do you do in art?
We did trees, and we're working on hands and different like
How do you make a hand?
you
That's not easy to do. What do you do?
we traced
Oh, you traced it.
not our hands.
We
We cut out paper. Well, we didn't cut out paper, but we traced the paper.
So I had hand tracers,
Yeah.
right? Because some people's hands are very big and some are very small.
Yes, they are, as a
So we
matter
wanted
of
them
fact.
to be consistent and be the same size. So we had how many hands, do you remember?
4.
Mm-hmm. And we studied different patterns. So for one hand, we did a line pattern. Do you remember what the second one was, Eli? We had to take shapes and do what with them?
Overlap.
Yeah, we were overlapping for the second one. The third one was a little bit different because we erased
Overlapping
the lines.
like,
Overlapping shapes, so
Oh.
you could see the lines come through from the shapes underneath.
okay.
And then the third one was where we erase the lines and one lays over the other. Remember
Really?
what that was called?
And then at the end of it, what are you trying to,
We are doing patterns, but we're doing them in 4 different ways. So one is a line pattern, one is overlapping, one is layering, and then spacing.
and spacing?
And so it gives them a different idea of how to do patterns different ways. And that's the hand project that we're working on now.
What is the role of color? I mean, when you've seen, does it get duller? Does it get more exciting as young children? Do
I
you
think
really
with
enjoy?
the younger ones, it's so exciting because their use of color is very different than when you're a middle schooler or a high schooler. It doesn't necessarily have to be realistic.
Mhm.
It has to be what they think it should look like. And sometimes it's very creative and unique.
But it's an interesting word to use when you say realistic. I mean, I look at that and I see a cat. But is it realistic? I'm not sure. But
Is it a
it's
cat
a
that you
representation.
would see in your yard?
Yeah. Well, what it is the color reminds me maybe of how I felt when I saw the cat.
Right, right.
How about you guys? I mean, when you see all the color, does it remind you? I mean, do you have a particular feeling when you put out?
I feel happy when I see all the colors together.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Yeah. How about you, Eli?
I feel happy too.
You do? And the colors make you feel happy?
Yeah, because it reminds me of rainbows, and I like rainbows a lot.
And when did you ever see a rainbow?
Sometimes after it rains.
Yes, you do, as a matter of fact.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
like blue and green because they're the color of the world.
Yes.
They're the color of the world.
Oh, really? Yeah? And the colors do make you happy. But sometimes, if you're happy and you want to show color, what colors would you show if you were happy?
The colors of the rainbow.
Oh, really? And you? That looks to me somewhat like the colors of the rainbow right there. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. So you think that cat is happy?
yeah.
How do you know?
He doesn't look like he's mad.
No, he does not look
He
like he's
looks
mad at
like-
all, as a matter of fact.
He's happy.
Yeah. Think he has a smile on his face?
Yeah.
Yep. And plenty of color as part of his, whatever he's wearing. Look at the 4 feet. They don't look like feet, but they certainly are colorful.
He would
Maybe.
look, imagine if that was regal.
Uh-oh. All right, let's imagine if it was. Then what? If that was real, what would happen?
It would, he would feel special because he
would be one
very
of
different.
kind.
He would be one of a kind, that's right. That's right. You know, it's interesting, some of the colors that we have a couple of ducks that come into the backyard every day,
Yeah.
don't we? What's their name? Do you have a name? Right?
Ethel and Gilbert.
Gilbert, right, okay. They come flying from the river and they come landing in the backyard, and you feed them every morning.
Yeah.
Interesting
friendly?
colors, right? Now, one of the ducks
Yeah.
is kind of all brown, but the other one has plenty
Yeah.
of color, right?
Gilbert, the boy, the top of his head is all purple,
Yeah,
and his neck is green.
yeah.
Purple?
Yeah, dark purple.
Oh, beautiful. So, I mean, there are some really interesting colors in animals that you see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you put them there, you think Gilbert's happy?
Yes.
Why do you think he's happy?
Maybe, but because he,
What do you think, look, what makes a duck happy? What makes you guys happy? I know when I see you smile is when you guys get together. We won't tell people how you find each other.
I like playing with Thomas. That makes me happy.
It does, right?
yeah.
And you do too, right? Do you have a call? Huh?
Yeah.
We don't use telephones, do we? What do you do, go in the yard?
We
Yeah.
just yell.
You yell. Then how do you find each other? How do you get to each other's house?
We climb over the fence.
You do climb over the fence, that's right. Now, do you think there's a color that would express that? What would make it, the color that you would think of that says,
Yellow.
I like you, okay, and he's wearing yellow today, look at that. All right?
Yellow because it's the color of happiness.
It is a
And
color
I'm-
of happiness.
And I'm happy when I see Thomas.
Yeah. What color do you think of, Thomas? Any color?
Sometimes blue.
Okay. Do you ever dream in colors?
Yeah, sometimes.
You do?
Not always.
Not always? How about you, Eli?
No, never.
No, never? Oh, really? Okay. But it tells you that you are either happy or you're not. So at any rate, you know what? Let's get back to the art just for a moment if we could. So did you enjoy doing this, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
a lot.
You did a lot. Okay. Do you know why you enjoy doing that a lot?
It just looks unique
It does you.
to many paintings, and none of the paintings had the exact same colors in each like box or square.
That is exactly correct. That's right. One of the things that made it so amazing to me was that even though the cats look very similar, the end product looks so different because every single one of the students, when they did it and put it together, selected a different color pattern and made it so interesting. So it was your signature, Thomas, and your signature, Eli, even though you did very different animals, right?
Yeah.
Very
his
exciting
looks
to see
li-
all the different
his
colors.
looks like a llama.
All right, on that note, guys, thank you very much. We're just about done. I don't know if there's anything else you would like to add to what we've said so far?
No.
Cindy, thank you so much. I mean,
Thank
it
you.
was really a very interesting project, and I really welcome the opportunity, as did, I think, all of the other parents that were able to join us that day, to just kind of get a glimpse at what life is like at Riverside School and in the art program. It's really just incredible what you're able to do.
Thank you very much.
And this is great. So, gentlemen, see you in the backyard. All right? I'm not sure. We'll meet you at the fence, right?
Yeah.
Is that the meeting place, right? It is. All right. Thank you both very much for coming, all right, and talking about a very, very special project. So thank you all for joining us today. I hope you felt as good about today's wonderful project and our teachers and our students as I do. So thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.